Hello everyone, my name is Michael of Rolling a Double 20, and today we're going to start year 3 by beating New Vegas with only the Varmint rifle. Mostly because I need a simple video to get me back into the swing of things. With that being said, let's wake up at Doc Mitchell's and begin. I misspelled Varmint Killer, don't ask how. For specials, I went with 3 strength to wield this mighty weapon, and mostly focused on perception and agility and luck. So these are my special stats. As for my tag skills, they are guns for more damage, sneak, as since this is a crappy weapon, I will be using as many sneak crits as possible, and medicine mostly to preserve my stim pack supply. My traits are good-natured and skilled for all those skill checks. Leaving the dock, I immediately knew where to get my hands on such an overpowered weapon. Sunny smiles, as she gives you one for the tutorial. We hit the bottle and begin hunting lizards. I made sure to go over the ledge so I could save the Good Springs woman. I know what many of you are going to ask, what about the Rat Slayer? Well, I decided not to because the stats on the Rat Slayer differ quite a bit from the base Varmint rifle, and I wanted to be this just about the Varmint rifle. But if enough of you ask, I will do a Rat Slayer only challenge. Before leaving Good Springs, there are a few varmints here I need to get rid of. And no, I'm not talking about the mantises. Speaking of, I had to stay really still, because you can easily step on these little fuckers. Nor was I speaking about the bloatflies. What I meant by varmints was the powder gangers. Conveniently, there's a man named Ringo here to help, and we can enlist the townsfolk. Too bad I can't shoot my low frame rates. Still, Joe Cobb and his bottoms were easy to take out. Someone blew up with Ringo in the last ganger. It wasn't me. The buildings begin to flicker in and out, and that happened throughout the first half of this recording. With the powder gangers defeated in Good Springs, we are one step closer to killing those varmints. But our next test takes us into Prim, and I renamed my character Huntress, because I thought it sounded cooler. After practicing my sniping ability, I entered Prim, and lo and behold, it was full of more powder gangers, though these ones seem to be out of uniform. That don't matter as they are varmints of this town and therefore shall be cleansed. As for their leader with the incinerator, he decided to charge me with a tire iron. Apparently the economy is so bad even criminals can't afford flamethrowers. Can you imagine that? Well, he's still had it. Maybe he was trying to be economical. Saving Deputy Beagle, and we get asked to find Prim a sheriff, so he can now keep the varmints out. I found him in Prim Slim. Obviously, a robot with some thermal should do the trick. Alright, with Prim now cleared of varmints, I headed south to the Mojave outpost. Along the way, I spotted some jackals, so I decided to clear them out, including inside. Sadly, I had to reload a save, because I accidentally stepped on a mantis. This time I made sure to shoot it. While I did clear out the station, I got confused with when a random 1 XP arrived, making me think I just stepped on a mantis again. I actually had to quit the recording and check. After killing the one that somehow ended up outside, I completed my journey to the Mojave outpost. Speaking to Ranger Jackson, he tells me of a few varmints, more specifically, ants blocking the road. Well, I got the rifle for it. Also spoke to Ghost, and she wants me to check in on Nipton. Just down from the ants. Taking care of the ants first, I noticed I still did decent damage with the standard 5.56. For them, I didn't need to switch. Plus, surplus ammo is the easiest to get, mostly because you get a lot per bundle. So despite the gun wear it caused, it ended up being my most used ammo type. Still did the job. At Nipton, I killed Oliver and discovered the Legion, the biggest varmints of New Vegas, destroyed the town. I didn't bother talking with Vulpes, I just started shooting from a distance. All I had to do was keep backing it up. When the recruits were dealt with, I moved on to Vulpes, after using my precious repair kits. Don't tell Mr. Wick, but I killed the dogs first, and in turn they chewed my frame rate. Didn't stop me. With those 2 tasks done, I turned them in for some nice rewards. My next stop is Novak. Outside of a few snakes, there wasn't much trouble on the way. This Legion recruit got lit the fuck up. I would feel bad, but I don't. Who knew armor-piercing rounds were the solution to the Legion's armor? This is gonna come up again and again. Strange. Well, at Novak, New Vegas shows its age by freezing my screen for a bit. Too bad I can't use the varmint rifle to kill this game's bugs. But good news is I found the varmint's rifle first upgrade, extended mags. I was able to skip this part of the tracking Benny quest, because Benny left his computer unlocked. Oh shit, I got so tunnel vision from the varmint hunting, I totally forgot to talk about why we're here. Long story short, a man named Benny shot us and we're hunting him down. The messages tell us that our next stop is Boulder City, to the north. I stumble upon a shootout where the Vipers win, but I couldn't see it because the game fucking froze again. Twice in the same recording. Fighting their leader shows how good I've gotten. I drink so much sarsaparilla here that I am pretty sure I now qualify as my own brand of root beer. Not the worst thing in the world. Aside from calling a few ants, I make it to Boulder City just fine. Here I decided to get rid of some great varmints. I was going to be peaceful, but I don't have the speed required. Getting dressed up wasn't difficult, but this gun is starting to show its limits. Strangely, the officer wasn't there. I could have sworn he was supposed to say something and give you something. Oh well, it's on to Freeside. Passing through 188, I found the silencer on Alexander here, meaning I'm 2/3 of the way to a fully upgraded varmint rifle. And this run wasn't even halfway done yet. While looking for a spot to test my new silencer, the NCR gives me something worse than my weapon. Somehow. The inability of the NCR knows no bounds. Near the grub and water place, the Legion charged me. And this was the longest assassination attempt ever. Once again, the AP rounds came in clutch. After that was done, those buildings be poppin'. I'm sorry, I will never use that sling again. Please forgive me. Once I was done selling stuff and buying ammo, I entered Freeside. I got friendly with the locals, and because of the shopping and varmint hunting I've been doing, I easily passed the credit check. Meeting House, he asked me to get the platinum chip from his protege, and in turn we get our vengeance. After all, he shot us in the head. More poppin'. Definitely was New Vegas' favorite glitch this run. I won't go over all of them, but those kept happening. To get this part over and done with ASAP, I talked with Swank and told him Benny's suit wasn't actually a checkerboard. To that end, he asked us to investigate Benny. We find that Benny has been dominating Yes Man here with verbal commands. Once Benny is in timeout, we beam him with a 5.56 round. He was a chump. I then took Light Touch to maximize my gains with leather armor, along with the travel light perk I took earlier. I just missed it in the rewatch. Now one could argue that killing Ilario and refusing Caesar's mark was a mistake here, as it would make entering the fort harder. I'll get to that, but I wanted as much as the Legion varmints dead. Here I decided on the Yes Man ending. To that end, I didn't even bother trying to shoot these TVs on wheels, because they were going to be part of my army. Not because I didn't want to use a planking rifle on a few robots. For some reason, House Cryo Cell was really dark. Don't worry, I lit it up. I bring Yes Man to the house computer, and then after his demonstration, he then dominates us with verbal commands. So as I am shopping, we got a few tasks. Task 1, head over to the fort and reactivate the Securitrons there. Task 2, meet the various tribes and decide how to handle them. And my personal task, kill all varmint factions across the Mojave. To me, that would be Powder Gangers, Fiends, and the Legion. Let's start with the easiest of the varmint factions first, the Powder Gangers. Turns out a prison jumpsuit don't stand up to a 5.56. Who'da thunk? Shooting my way through was easier than even I thought imaginable. Well, I ran into a conundrum, something I wasn't expecting this run. See, I shot this dynamite out of the Powder Ganger's hand. Now, I have no idea if this counts as a fail, because technically, I did use the varmint rifle. But it was also the dynamite that killed him. I'll let you guys vote on that. For those who said I broke the rules, I did reload the save. Oh, come on, that's a full wall. Going to room, I cleared out all the Powder Gangers. And with their leader Eddie dead, the faction goes too. My next stop was Camp McCarran to get the 3-card bounty quest from Daughtry here. Hey, listen, since I'm going to be killing these fiend varmints anyways, I might as well get paid. Speaking of the devil, I managed to arrive just in time. I picked up to go after Nephi just because I can never remember where he is. I know where Cook and Violet are in general, but now that I'm in Fiend territory, yeah, they were a lot tougher than the Powder Gangers by a mile, mostly due to their laser weaponry. In here, I had enough of the game popping in and out. Thankfully, this was an easy fix. All I had to do was set New Vegas to high priority in my task manager. Alright, I'm not going to go over every shootout as this would be a very, very long video. I made sure to kill Cook's waifu. Then I switched it to the AP rounds for Cook himself. If you're wondering why I'm not aiming for his head, it's because I get more money from an intact head. At first I thought he ran away, but no, he came back with a modern club. After he died, it was Violet's turn. I stayed at a distance to pick off her dogs. You know, I think in a better life, she would make a good wife for John Wick. She went down easier than Cook. All was left was her dogs and onto Driver Nephi. At level 10, I took the finesse perk. More crits means more damage, which equals to easier fights. I did try to snipe Nephi at a distance, but without the final upgrade, the scope, it was hard to hit anything. This shot was pure luck. Once the Hornet's Nest was awoken, Nephi charged at me with a knife. I have no idea what happened to his golf club. I did kill him regardless. You would think that means I'm done. Well, no, because there's two more varmints that are leader of the Fiends, Mortar Runner and Duke. For Duke, I thought he was in the Steel Maw, but I only found robots and my own death. I did mark Fiend territory entrance just before going on a medical shopping spree. When checking for ammo, I found the night vision scope for my Varmint rifle, which is a little ironic considering I'm about to assault Vault 3, an underground complex. Once done with shopping, I entered the Fiend zone and began blasting. This was an absolute slaughter for the Fiends, and that was just a warm-up.
You like the sight of your own blood?
The amount of times I heard that phrase, it could be its own montage. But I'm saving that effort for a future video.
You like the sight of your own blood? You like the sight of your own blood? You like the sight of your own blood?
After getting lost a few times, finding Ranger Anders and blowing myself up. I kill more dogs. I hear someone racking a Glock.
You like the
Even Motor Runner can't stop saying that fucking line, and I kill him for it. To truly finish off the Fiends, I went after Duke next. I know he isn't required to destroy the faction, but I want to be thorough. Also because I never want to hear that line again. No idea what happened here. My best guess is that he stepped on his own landmine. Stop saying that! Duke himself was heavily armored, and I had no AP rounds left. So this fight, took a while. I claimed my bounties, and now that two of the Varmint factions were dealt with, it was time to start moving towards the end. One shopping spree later, and I get ambushed by Legion assassins. While taking down the heavy legionaries was possible, it also required a lot of drugs, dodging, weaving, and headshots. Even with that, I ran out of medical supplies, and I died. Well, more shopping sprees. Even bought the regeneration implant, though with one endurance, that's all I could do. Man, my girl cannot last that long. With 40 stim packs, I headed for Cottonwood Cove. This time from Nipton, so I didn't bump into Legion assassins that killed me last time. Though that plan didn't work out. My AP rounds were the only thing effective against them. Even when I ran out of AP rounds, the smart use of a rock did allow me to win eventually. Seeing the trooper ghouls did tell me I was getting closer. I spent some time practicing my long-range sniping. If the Legion assassins have taught me anything, is that I'm not going to survive a fair fight against the Legion. To that end, I perched up on a tall rock and began picking off legionaries. This took roughly 30 minutes of just this. Finally! Hey, where are you going? Oh well. Ah! Gotta give this guy props for not just finding out where I was, but for not skipping leg day. I eventually went down and started looting. Of course, there were a few stragglers. Before assaulting the fort, I fast traveled to sell all my goods and get some more AP rounds. My first assault on the fort was a mixed bag. It went good at first, but trying to clear the second half proved difficult. Even with tactical retreats, the Varmint rifle was just not enough. Another issue was my armor being broken. Alright, I went shopping mostly for AP rounds and fixing my armor. Good thing about the fort is that most of the Legionaries' inventory refills, providing me essentially with unlimited caps. Feature or a bug? Hard to say, but I'm not complaining. Still took me a while, even after finding a spot that enemies get stuck in. Not to say that it was easy, far from it. This assault took many tries and many retreats. Fun-ish fact, anytime I tried to fast travel to the rest stop, Legion assassins would kill me. Since I was having trouble assaulting the fort, I decided to complete part of Yesman's other quest, namely the Boomers and other tribes. Now, I don't consider the Boomers a Varmint-style faction, so even after getting blown up for them, I decided to help them out. What do you know, they have a Varmint problem, and I have the rifle to fix it, among fixing other things. Only the giant ants caused any amount of grief, and that's only cause they took more to kill. Once the colony was shot up like I was a helldiver on a bug planet, I moved on to bringing up a bomber from the lake. For anyone who needs to find a quick pressure cooker, just head into this shack and loot this box. Nothing fancy here. Use the detonator and lift the plane. This is a quest item, so unless you're a purist, this run is fine. Alright, one tribe down, many more to go. My next tribe to contact was the Great Khans, although that meant I had to go through Fiend territory again. Oh my god, not again. Plus, I fought more assassins this time. This time, I aimed for this one's weapon, though he would always be searching for it. And after finally killing him, I moved on to the Khans. No! Damn it. Because I couldn't get into the armory, I massacred the Khans. For no other reason than I was annoyed I couldn't find their key. Poor guy had his last supper. I killed as many as I could silently. Well, mostly. Alright, 2 tribes down, 3 more to go. Who the fuck was that? I returned to the fort to try again and clear it. This time I have more levels, perks, and some actual AP rounds. I think they shot and killed their own guy. If only that worked before. But yeah, with armor-piercing rounds, killing these wannabe Romans was much easier. And while I did eventually run out of AP rounds, by that time the Legion was thinned out. It was trivial at this point. I chose to spare Caesar for 2 reasons. One, so I don't have to fight him and his entire Praetorian Guard. And secondly, but most importantly, is that I wanted him to live, so he may watch his empire crumble from a squirrel gun. To be extra vindictive, I killed Caesar's lover. Okay, I'll give credit to this legionnaire. He did not care and stayed on that grind set. Now, trying to fight indoors was a bit too much, so I just bolted down and let the robots and men in skirts deal with each other. Even still, this was not a cakewalk. Still, I upgraded my Securitron plan to include more TVs, and now it was a matter of stim packing myself and sprinting out of there. No idea where the legionaries went, but I don't care. And I'm still being attacked and killed at the rest stop. This time, the game crashed and killed me. My next stop was, let's see here... Yeah, I'm not tangling with the Brotherhood with a plinking rifle, so I let them collar me and went to deal with Dobson. Unfortunately, I couldn't convince him to leave, so I brought out the girls. This outfit is what made an elite ranger fold. To be fair, most of us would. With that, I left the Brotherhood to their bunker and called it a day. The last 2 factions I need to deal with were the Omertas and White Gloves. I massacred the Omertas. I have no idea why I did this, just that I did. Even after I died, because I wasn't paying attention to my health. And this was the only time in the entire fucking run I consistently use hollow point rounds. If you're wondering how thorough I was, here's me killing Big Sal, here's me killing thugs on the bottom floor, and here's me killing Clandon on the second floor. So overall, very thorough. For the White Gloves, I just let them live. I didn't feel like doing 2 massacres. Alright, with all the Varmint factions, aka factions that feed on the success of others, taken care of, I think it's time to deal with the second battle of Verdam. But I forgot about protecting Kimbo. Technically, I don't have to do this, but I'm still gonna need as many level ups as possible to defeat Legate Lanius. So I waited for the sniper and... Surprisingly, I was able to save the real sniper. The president cancels his speech, and I get a lot of XP as a reward. Unfortunately, I had to immediately betray the NCR to get into the substation. Thankfully, after calling the outside guard, there was only 1 left inside. Turning on the backup generators for New Vegas means we are ready to meet the Legion at the dam. But before that, I did the rounds. Mostly AP, cleaned up the streets a bit. Now it's time to give a damn. Let's start the final mission. I am now in the endgame, and this varmint rifle ain't doing too hot. My Securitron bodyguard is doing way better than me. Damn it, he died. No! Color me shocked that I killed these guys with a varmint rifle. Installing the override chip, I decided to make myself the ruler of New Vegas. Once I booted up my TV army, it was time to deal with the Legate. Without getting smacked around, I did eventually make it to the Legate's camp, and here the Praetorians were easy enough, so long as I kept them at a safe distance. I killed Caesar's second lover, and she's nothing inside. Now, I did save some AP rounds for Lanius to see if I could end him quickly. The answer was no, and he and his cronies killed me. So, next I challenged him 1v1. Normally this would be a tough-ass fight, but thanks to Bethesda's own engine failure, Lanius was defeated by a fucking table. Listen man, I'm just here to prove it's possible to kill Lanius with a squirrel gun. As for General Oliver, I sent a message. With that, yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas with the varmint rifle. Well, so long as you don't step on any manises like I did. Was this fun? Yeah, this is a good balance between difficulty and reasonability. As for advice, if you want to try this yourself, my best is to stock up on armor-piercing rounds. If I had to change anything, though, I would increase my endurance so I could actually take a hit or two. I have been your host, Michael of Rolling a Double 20, and I'll see you later. Woo! Year 3 has started!